Hey guys, this is Michael, aka SoundJack from Nerdy Geek Talk, the source for y'all. That was so close. Darn it. Three, two, one. Hey guys, this is Michael, aka SoundJack from Nerdy Geek Talk, the source for all your nerdy geeky needs, here with episode 80 of Steel City Bots. Joining me today are Jared. How are you?
Doing pretty good. A little under the weather, but weather isn't too bad outside, so I'm not complaining.
It's getting warmer. We're almost to spring. We're almost there.
I do live in Pittsburgh, so who knows what's going to happen.
That's very fair. You cannot predict Pennsylvania weather.
Nope.
Nor Jerseyan weather, I would assume, as I'll move over to talking to Miguel now. How are you doing, Miguel?
I think fine. Weather is pretty all right here. It was nice. When I was driving home from work, the sun was out. Good old stealing an hour away from us at the very least gave me a nice sun to look at while I was driving home.
Yeah, was it trying to blind you on your way home though? That's the question.
I was driving west, so.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I heard myself in someone's audio, but whatever. Shouldn't have pointed that out because we are professionals here, and professionals would never point out any silly little mistakes that happened.
No.
Yeah. Anywho, let's get on with the history lesson for the week. The day we are recording this is March 11th, and on this day in 1963, Alex Kingston, voice of Quick Shadow and Rescue Bots, the cartoon, is born, who is more famously played Dr. Riversong or Professor Riversong in the British TV series Doctor Who, sweetie. Not Doctor Who, sweetie. It's Sweetie was her thing. If you haven't watched Doctor Who, she'd like to say that a lot. Anywho, also on this day in 1998, Beast Wars episode The Agenda Part 1 premieres in the US. This was the start of the finale of Season 2 of Beast Wars and introduced Covert Agent Ravage to the Beast Wars. But that's it for the history lessons. What did everyone get this week? Let's start with Jared. What did you get?
All right, so I got a bunch of Cyberverse figures that I stumbled upon. So first up, I got as one of them falls to pieces. I got Cyberverse, Ultra Class, Optimus Prime, and Slipstream. They were at my work before I clocked in, and I grabbed them both. And Slipstream, she's definitely my least favorite of these two, mainly because like in a robot mode, it doesn't really hold together all that well. It is kind of easy to like unpeg a couple things, and if you go to stand her up or go to pick her up or anything like that, it'll just pretty much fold in on itself.
Oh, darn.
That might just be my copy of the toy, but
I hope it is. I want to pick that figure up.
Yeah. And she doesn't have any knees or head articulation. Head articulation and knees pretty much is a 0 in Cyberverse, so that's something that's basically a given. Optimus, on the other hand, he's pretty nice. Vehicle mode is exceptional at best. And Prime is not a bad looking dude. And earlier today, while I was on my way at work, I stopped in at Best Buy of all places, and I find Warrior Class Prowl. And he's probably one of the he's definitely the better of the Warrior Class figures in Cyberverse. All around, he's a real nice figure. His gimmick doesn't get in the way too much because the gimmick just gives him his classic shoulder cannons. And, not bad. last but not least, this is the non-G1 thing I got is G1 tracks. I got them off eBay. He is complete with everything that he originally came with, his instruction manual and everything. And yeah, did I get anything else? Ooh, yeah, I got a booster box for Wave 2 of TCG. I mainly got it just because I wanted to test my luck, see if I could get anything good, see how many. I really was expecting to get like a endless doubles, but I didn't get anything too terribly bad. I did get a full Superion, and I got like 2 of the Predacons, all of Menace except for one. I can't remember who I'm missing. All except 2 of Optimus, the Optimus Combiner, whose name escapes me.
Optimus Maximus?
Optimus Maximus. And yeah, I got a couple. I've got 2 of the Dinobots as well. Yeah. So I got a decent amount of combiners. I didn't get any super rares or anything like that, but I really wasn't even expecting to get any of them, to be honest. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Well, it sounds like you still had better odds than Miguel last week.
I mean, to be fair, despite pulling 15 breakdowns between my 2 boxes, who's a common character, so you shouldn't be pulling that many of a single character. And you, like, based off of what I've heard, you shouldn't be pulling that many of a single character from your boxes. I still managed to pull. I think I pulled four rares per box plus a super rare. So I still managed to like max out on that end. I just was I was unlucky with my common cards, which thankfully is probably the easiest
to rectify.
Thing to fix up. Yeah, like I think with the stuff that's coming in the mail from trading with people online, I'll end up with. I'll have at the end of the day or week I should say, all of the character cards from Wave 2 except for the triple changers.
Nice.
The triple changers are the only ones that I'm missing at this point, and it'll be either amazing luck from a pack, or I have to keep an eye out for like people selling them for pretty cheap comparatively, because right now they kind of the auctions and stuff online are trending upward, and I'm trying to find them when they're going to bottom out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm almost done. The battle cards are going to be the annoying part, but
yeah,
I have to properly look through mine catalog.
Oh yeah. Jared, that was all you had, right?
Yes.
So then, Miguel, go on, keep going, keep talking, and tell us what you got this week. So,
yeah, I picked up a couple of more cards here and there, and traded with people, kind of finish off. Otherwise, and this will, in some parts, lead into some news from this past week.
In most parts, honestly.
Well, the first few things, not so much. I've been going around trying to see if I could find the Wave 5 Voyagers and the Wave 5 Deluxes from Studio Series. Didn't really manage to find, I found some, was able to find Barricade and Sideswipe, who I believe I talked about last week.
Yeah, I think so too.
And the only ones that I couldn't find were Clunker B, Bone Crusher, and the 2007 movie Prime. In the end, I decided, you know what? All this driving around, it's probably not worth it. So let's just buy them off Pulse because they're in stock. So I ordered them off the Hasbro Pulse, and in good old Hasbro Pulse fashion, they arrived at my doorstep, and then a day later, I got a notification that they had shipped.
Yep. You say good old Hasbro Pulse, even though it's only been around for a month.
Right, good old Hasbro Pulse. they haven't steered me wrong. My expectation is I'm going to order something, it's going to show up a day later, and then their system will catch up and be like, "Hey, this thing shipped," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know, I have it."
Hey, better than like it telling you a week later it shipped, and then you actually getting the package another week later.
Right, I'm not complaining. I'm all for it. So I've opened B and Prime, so the two most boring ones. This Prime is actually really nice. Like just the silhouette and everything itself. Like I haven't even transformed or anything. I'm just posed him, and he looks really good. Like if you're waiting for the Dark of the Moon leader version, you will not be disappointed.
That's good to hear.
At the same time, I look at this now and I'm like, why the heck did they make the Wave 1 version?
Honestly, why? Like was it just so as they could release one compatible with Jetfire when Jetfire came out? But then, why brand the first one Revenge of the Fallen? You know? Makes no sense. Miguel? Uh-oh.
Miguel? Who?
Mr. Miguel. I should take a photo of his face while it's still there like that.
For me, his face is just...
Oh, no! Darn it! I missed it! I missed it by half a second.
Did my Skype freeze on a really good?
Yeah, it did.
Picture?
Your face was like, yeah, something like that. But you were in like mid motion, so it was more hilarious. Yeah, something like that.
There's a little Easter egg for anyone who listens to what my OBS continued to record. Lots of those tonight. So yeah, this like honestly, like I think if they had just released this version first, leave all of the weird, mysterious like tabs and stuff. Like imagine that. Imagine if they released this in the first wave. It had all of these weird tabs and like surfaces, and people were like, "What are these for?" And then they just released like the gun and the swords and be like, "Oh, this is a perfect movie Prime." And then they released Jetfire and they're like, "Wait, no." And then they combined and it's like, "Oh, that's what they're for."
Yeah, that'd be more cool.
They should have done that.
But then they couldn't have milked the mold.
But see, now they have this mold that they developed that like this one. I don't have my for those of you listening. I don't have my Revenge of the Fallen version present to compare. But just from what I've heard, it's like these molds barely share any parts. Like a vast majority of them are retooled to the point where it's like, what was the point? Like retooled and kind of like upped in movie accuracy. Like this one also like looks just like better. Like the colors and everything very much evoke movie Prime.
So Revenge of the Fallen is a weird anomaly. There we go.
At this point, the Revenge of the Fallen one only exists for the weird variant hunters.
Yeah.
Because there's two versions of the Revenge of the Fallen release.
Oh, there are?
There's one with more opaque battle blades, and there's one with clearer battle blades. There was a revision at one point that changed the plastic on the battle blades. Most of us probably have the original one, and then the clearer one was available later on.
Oh, okay.
It's a very minor thing. That one time I like heard about it and then noticed, and I was like, "Oh, that looks neat."
That's interesting.
Oh my gosh.
Weird but interesting.
B, on the other hand, because I haven't owned this mold before, this mold's bad. He doesn't look that great. Like, he looks scared.
Help me!
He looks terrible. Yeah, he's like, kill me. Like, free me from my prison. And then he can't stand. Like, does he have flip-out heels?
No. I mean, I haven't had problems standing that mold.
Mine can't stand.
Huh.
I don't know why.
Maybe it's the weight of the pin they put in, so as the roof actually stays in place during transformation.
You know what? I wouldn't put it past it. I don't know if it's just the tolerances of the feet. Okay, there I got it stand.
Good.
So yeah, I'll just show. See, he's standing
right on top of your Japanese Triptychon.
I was hoping there'd be more like gasps, because I haven't mentioned that I have.
No, you have not mentioned that you have black screws Triptychon.
I've never mentioned it. I just got it.
When did you get it?
I got it a while ago. It's just been here.
I'm just gonna message that to the group chat.
Nah, leave it. No, let them discover it.
I mean, Chris will definitely discover it. Eric definitely won't.
Right. No, so I'm just saying, like, let's let the meme just manifest itself. For those, like, there's a lot of layers here. Like, we're delivering Easter eggs for not only the fans and the people at home, but also for our fellow co-hosts who sadly could not be here tonight due to familial obligations or for some reason telling your work and your hometown that you'd be back in your hometown
for your spring break.
Because some people just aren't smart.
And then we don't know why Zeus is in here. I'm assuming work, but he hasn't said anything.
Zeus is out saving the planet.
What is this? What is he? A comic character? Is Zeus this world's incarnation of Thor? Does he have a giant lightning bolt that he swings around to fly?
What? A lightning bolt?
Yeah. Because I couldn't think of what the god Zeus's actual weapon was.
Well, no. Okay, so if he's gonna have like a lightning bolt thing, he's like the Silver Surfer. He rides on it.
Ah, okay.
He also lives in California. See, this is perfect.
Ah, okay. So Zeus is a god and a chill surfer.
Kills everything in sight. See, no, Zeus is actually a menace.
That's the episode title. I don't care.
Zeus the Menace.
Zeus is actually a menace.
Zeus is a menace. So.
Let's get J. Jonah Jameson out here.
No, Zeus is actually a menace. You have to keep that qualifier.
Yeah.
It's
Zeus is actually a menace.
In this episode of Steel City Box, we come to the realization that Zeus is in fact a menace. For all the reasons why, tune in to listen to the episode and find out.
Yeah, tune in and find out. Because he's a menace because.
Because he kills fishes and he throws lightning at people.
Yeah. Who wants that?
So I also got Bone Crusher, who I have not opened yet, along with an additional bag. Because I don't know if this was a story that broke out before this week or if it's been in the past week, that in addition to Wave 5 kind of trickling out into the wild, Wave 6 has also made its way to stores.
Mm-hmm.
To the annoyance of a lot of us on the show, given the fact that a lot of us don't have Wave 5 or have barely seen Wave 5.
Yep.
So I was going to different Walmarts and stuff because that seems to be where the Walmarts and Targets seem to be getting Wave 6 at the moment. In my area, it's specifically Walmarts. And so I was able to visit a Walmart that had the Wave 5 leaders and then tucked away up top in the part of the aisle where it says, like, please ask for assistance.
Yeah.
There was a lone shatter. Of the 3 Wave 6 Deluxes, Shatter, Cogman, and Scrap Metal, she was the one I wanted the least. But I'm like, she's here. I kind of want to come away with something. So, did what anyone would do in this situation where you need to ask for assistance because the thing is perched too high. I grabbed a lightsaber, flicked it, and then got it and tossed it to me by like poking at it and stuff until it fell.
Yeah.
And then grabbed Shatter. Haven't Haven't had a chance to open her yet.
Hmm.
She looks all right. Reports seem to be mixed as to whether or not she's actually a good toy. Her toy exclusive head sculpt's kind of weird.
You mean her concept art head sculpt?
Well, I think I heard at least one person say she might actually have that battle mask on in the movie, like briefly.
Well, we can see again shortly because it'll be coming out soon.
All right.
The physical release coming out on my birthday.
Cool. You could find the screen cap for me and send it to me, or not find it and be like, "Miguel, you were wrong."
Or the person you heard it from was wrong. I won't blame you for that.
Yeah, or you're perpetuating fake news. You're like, all right.
Yeah. How could you? How could you?
Yeah. So still need to find Cogman and Scrap Metal, who, as of this recording, have just gone up on BBTS for pre-order. So if you want Wave 6 and you like ordering for BBTS, go grab them there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last thing, which I really can't speak too much, but the other thing that has been showing up at Walmart's, which we'll kind of go into, we can jump on both Michael and I can speak to this, and
yes,
other people would be able to continue to finish off the being part of the current news if they were here.
Yeah.
In addition to Wave 6, both Deluxes and Voyagers, which I was not able to find. I was not able to find Rampage or B-Movie Prime. But Wave 2 of Studio Series, of Siege, Warhammer Cybertron Siege, Deluxes and Voyagers have also made their way to Walmarts across the country, very much so in the northeastern part of the United States. I was able to find the entirety of Wave 2 Deluxes. I only left with 6-gun Ironhide and Prowl. Ironhide and Prowl because I actually kind of succumbed to the fact that they were in front of me and they looked really good. Mm-hmm. And 6-gun because you can never have enough 6-guns.
You can never have enough 6-guns. You can never have enough cogs. You will never be able to have enough broads.
Order in, I'll have 12-gun. Chromia looked awful, so I left her. I'll just keep my Pulse order and get her in stock or in hand when she comes out from Hasbro Pulse. But all of the rest of them look really good. Like, people have been taking pictures and stuff, and so far, like, Prowl looks really good. 6-gun's great. Ironhide hit the panels that his vehicle make up his vehicle mode apparently fall off out of the package.
But regardless, that is still the best G1 Ironhide toy we have for generations.
The Masterpiece.
Masterpiece doesn't count in this conversation.
Or in this conversation. I'll have more thoughts on them, I guess, when I open them up, and I guess I'll report them back on Twitter or something, or chime in when someone else gets them in. But, so yeah, that was the Deluxes. As far as the Voyagers, well, Michael can tell you all about that.
Well, I can't tell you all about that, but I can tell you about one of that. Because thanks to... Well, I was visiting Alyssa this weekend. And if you don't know who Alyssa is, she's my girlfriend, and she lives very close to Miguel. And I was talking to Miguel. I sent you pictures of bad KOs, and you were like, "Wait, where are you? Are you there?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Did you go to the Walmart? I said no. But now that you said that, I will go check it out. And I did. And there was one Siege Starscream on the shelf, and I was on the phone with Miguel at the time when I picked it up. But to help console Miguel a little bit, not long, like not even 30 seconds after I picked up Siege Starscream, I saw a guy walking down the aisle. I saw him. He was looking at me and what I had in hand. Saw him briefly glimpse past the Transformers because the Transformers saw that there was nothing left, and then kept on walking with his buddy that met him from the other way, I guess. So I highly suspect that it wouldn't have been there for Miguel if I hadn't picked it up. So thank you, Miguel, for allowing me to get Siege Starscream and not someone else that we do not know.
I mean, you're welcome. And in the in the end, one thing I was going to mention is that because I later on in the weekend visited that Walmart, and the toy aisle was the specific aisle that the Transformers were in was changed, and the whole section was kind of redone. Because when I walked in, I'm like, wait a minute, this looks different. So I was giving you directions on where to go based off of outdated information. So I'm glad that you were able to make it.
Yeah, I figured it was at the end of the aisle because the Walmart near me has the Transformers at the end of the aisle, though closer to the front. Though it doesn't matter because they haven't stocked Transformers in like months. Like literally every single product they have has a temporarily out of stock tag. And they had that both before coming down to see you when all of this, sit down to see Alyssa, both before all of this new stuff was coming out and after all of this new stuff was coming out. So I can highly assume if I stayed here, I wouldn't have found anything. Which I'm glad I was able to find something. But anyway, Siege Starscream. I'm honestly surprised how much I like him. Like, he's a really fun toy. He's good. He's posable. I mean, his jet mode's a complete shell, but I don't know why. I just really enjoy that jet mode. His chest falls off every time you attempt to transform because the friction hinges aren't right. I think not the post. I think it's the holes that the friction hinges go into on the chest itself that just aren't molded correctly to fit properly. But it surprisingly doesn't really bother me. And I quite enjoy it. I suspect this is going to be the worst Voyager mold, the Voyager toy of the wave, of Siege, I mean. Because Soundwave looks to be great. Springer's probably going to be quite fun. And then Thundercracker, hopefully, since we were able to see that they were able to fix problems on between the Studio Series Megatron and then the Selects Megatron, that they could fix that chest for Thundercracker too, you know? Because that would be nice. But I genuinely say go get Starscream. Unless for some reason you hate the G1 Starscream design or hate shell formers, but like I could understand that the shell former one. But besides that, I also did find Studio Series Dark of the Moon Megatron, who surprisingly a bit easier to transform than I expected. Kind of wish like there's a couple of panels to like help hide the fact that the front of the truck. The truck half of his alt mode, truck portion of his alt mode is hollow, but like it's really fine. It's interesting. It's different. I like that it scales with the Voyager Megatron from Revenge of the Fallen, even though he's still got more mass to him here. But like it's good. It's fun, and I'm glad. And the shotgun looks very nice. The cloth is annoying as all heck, though. And then lastly. I picked this up from Miguel, actually, while I was around. He was selling some stuff online, and he was selling something that for $10. That was like, you know what? I'd get that for $10, and I did get it for $10, and it was the Transformers 2010 Axor figure, who is my first handling of the mold, and holy crap, he is massive for a deluxe. Transformation's more simple than I expected, considering how weird his arms are. Hey, it's good fun. I do really hope to get the lockdown mold, the lockdown version of this mold at some point, because that looks really good. It looks really good. But that's it for me. So let's get on to some news here, folks. First things first, let's talk about new IDW, which, by the way, first issue of the new IDW Transformers comic run comes out this Wednesday. So either talk to your... I don't know if you can pre-order at your comic book shops at this point. I don't know how that works. But check in with your local comic book store if you're interested.
I would imagine that. I'd imagine that they could still order you a copy. I don't necessarily know that it'll come. It obviously won't come by Wednesday, so it would be like a later shipment and stuff. But you probably could still get it. Depending if your comic shop normally stocks Transformers comics, they'll probably have it in a couple of issues or in abundance, depending on the size of your store. And then if you're not too, if you don't need it physically, you can also always grab it off of Comixology, or if you want to wait till all 12 issues coming out as well.
Have we been told how many issues there are?
At least the first 12 issues will be collected in a trade paperback, a hardcover, I think. That's up on Amazon for pre-order.
Oh, okay. Okay, I did not know that. Because...
Yeah, that was a couple weeks ago that came out.
Oh, I did not hear about that. Oh, that's cool. Cool. Maybe I should pre-order that because I'm really interested in this series, but like, I think it's just easier to have like a collected volume rather than all the individual issues, and I've not collected a lot of comics physically, just select issues. But what I've been... the first article in the news section isn't about the preview, but there is also a later article that shows a 3-page preview for the first issue, which has me really intrigued by what's going on. Because it's pre-war stuff. We get an idea of how this world works and how it's different from previous worlds, most specifically IDW continuity. I won't go into any spoilers about that. If you don't want to be spoiled going in. But I will talk briefly about the interview with IDW Editor-in-Chief John Barber and Hasbro Global Publishing VP Michael Kelly, who talk about this reboot and mention that they are introducing a new character called Geomotus. He turns into a rover, and he is one of the first openly neurodivergent Cybertronians. It is cleared by the description that he gives us. He's autistic. He struggles with unfamiliar social situations and doesn't, and I'm directly quoting here, doesn't care much for more aggressive bots like Prowl. But he is able to deal with unfamiliar, however, as long as he has his shapes, which are basically blocks that allow him to help him focus. And I'm really pleased that we've got this kind of representation here. Oh, it's great. I
mean, one of the first.
One of the first. Because
the
transmutate.
Beast Force Uprising transmutate.
Yes. Yeah. I did correct myself because transmutate's a thing. Unfortunately, it's a medium that is hard to access for most people.
And I would imagine who knows if some people might take just it or not like how they presented her or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought this was pretty interesting. Just seeing like one of the new design and everything, but also just having them like they're really kind of going out with doing the little like press gambit, trying to hype up the new continuity. The preview, because this is just a 1-page preview, and then later on we in the week we got a 4-page preview. It might even be like a couple days, like today.
No, it was still a couple of days ago, but yeah.
It was a couple okay. But yeah, we got a more in-depth preview that gave us a look at this universe, and I'm all for it. Like, I think this is going to be pretty interesting to just kind of get a new take.
Yeah.
There might be some retreads and stuff, but then some of the I guess the lore of and like how Cybertron is and like some of the things with society, I feel like that would be a bit different, which would be cool.
Yeah.
I know I've seen some people already kind of bemoan the fact that there's a lot more. Like, it seems like they're doing the whole like political stuff from pre-war, which like some people might find tired, or to some people's credit, they're like, Cyberverse just did this, so it's like, yeah, for a bit now, Transformers is kind of going to be very samey, but there's some interesting little nuggets here that I think will play out when we see more of his continuity. So I'm pretty hyped.
Like, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, you're right. It's the base layer is definitely similar to other stories, but like how the details seem to be forming, the specific details are the thing that's pulling me in about what's going on, and I'm quite interested. Can't wait to see how well this whole first issue goes once Wednesday arrives, and this is bi-weekly, right?
Yeah, bi-weekly or twice a month.
Yeah.
Makes
more sense because
bi-weekly almost makes it seem like it's gonna be like twice a week, which is like, no.
Well, that's the thing with bi words, because with like bi whatever, because like bi-weekly can be either twice a week or once every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
Biannually could be twice a year or once every 2 years.
Right, which every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, you're going to get a comic out.
Once a fort. We'll get one per fortnight.
Yeah.
It's another way to look at it.
We'll get one on the 13th, this coming Wednesday at the time of this recording, and then one on the 27th, and then so on and so forth. Jared, are you going to read the comics?
I'll probably read them online. Probably won't like actually get the like physical paperback comic books themselves, but
by read them online, do you mean like Comixology, or are you going to do some dark web nonsense?
Or are you just going to read the summaries on TF Wiki?
Like,
what was that?
Jared?
Hello?
Oh, I thought you were saying what was that? The SoundJack?
No.
Sorry. Yeah, I might do the that like Comixology thing. I'm not gonna do like that dark web. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'll probably just get them online, or
you're not gonna create a summoning circle of your Transformers toys and then like recite some Unicronian incantation and have the next 12 months of comics just appear in front of you, and then
you'll post
Dark
spoiler.
John will spew out of your eye sockets and you'll die.
But not before you can spoil everything that happens online.
Oh yeah, I do that and then my eyes explode.
Yep. Before I forget, with to slightly go back to what we were talking about with, I mean, it's kind of related because they're using the same designs, but with the Siege toys coming out, if you're aware that the Siege toys have like black light codes that you can put onto the website, if you happen to get a Chromia and you see Chromias and translate it doesn't make sense at first.
Let people, if you, because I don't want to spoil. I don't have it spoiled, but like look at Chromias, try to figure it out, and then if you can't, then just look up online, and you'll find that you'll see like you'll be like just look in the places for like Siege blacklight codes and
because at first I thought that was so dumb, but then it was like, oh, that's so clever.
At first glance, you think they're making some weird joke because the combination of letters and stuff, you're just like, what are they trying to say? And then someone cracked the code and it's like, no, that's clever.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Although at first glance, I was like, did someone sneak something in again?
Oh dear.
Is Hasbro gonna have to fire another freelancer? Like what?
Yeah. Glad we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
But let's move on to more proper news.
Very interesting news.
Yeah. G1 Commemorative Series reissues Astro Train, Dirge, Skids, Power Master, Optimus Prime, Apex Armor. At some point in this prior week, it was found out that Big Bad Toy Store has some pre-orders for G1 Commemorative Series reissues. Now, if you don't know what G1 Commemorative Series are, they are reissues of G1 toys. However, it seems these are reissues of those reissues, which is interesting because Walmart is having a lot of reissues of G1 toys. And as the fans voted on for 2020, spring 2020, Astro Train will be one of those.
Right, like this, and this is something that I don't know that's been sort of like, there hasn't been a lot of hubbub about this, at least when it originally popped up. For those who might not know, the G1 Commemorative series was a line of G1 reissues that happened in the early 2000s. It was mostly Toys R Us and KB Toys exclusive. And in the past few years, for some reason, Hasbro Asia has been reissuing these reissues for their markets in Southeast Asia and everything, or Southeast Asia. And so the ones that have come out thus far have been Rodimus, Sideswipe, and if I'm looking at this right, well, the C-Cons, the BBTS's page might be a bit screwy. The C-Cons are their exclusive. These are it's a universe release of Piranha-Con that they have never been able to sell out of.
Oh, okay.
And then the Soundwave that is sold out, I do not know whether or not that is old stock of the classics release of Soundwave, or if this was another new one. But in addition to the ones that we mentioned, as Michael mentioned previously, Skids, Dirge, Astro Train, and the Power Master Prime with Apex Armor. So that's the Jinrai mold. So it's the specific toolings that were done in Japan that were then brought back in the early 2000s to do the Apex Armor Prime. The Astro Train will be interesting for two reasons. One, will this one end up being cheaper than the one that ends up in Walmart? I wonder. And the other thing is there a chance that the one coming out in Walmart will be show colors, and then we have our toy colors here?
Yeah. I mean, when this first news, I forget who sent the link. Was it you, Miguel?
I don't know. I think you sent it, and you were like, "Wait, did the site you were sharing is like, wait, did they mess up on this article?" And it's like, no, like G1 Commemorative.
No, I specifically misinterpreted what it was, thinking it was new G1 reissues.
You thought these were more Walmart
releases. That's what I thought, and that Big Bad Toy Store had them for some reasons. Like, oh, I didn't hear. No, Big Bad Toy Store got the Walmart stock, which is interesting. And I had assumed at the time that these were increased prices from what we'd see at Walmart.
Right, so it's like, oh, is Apex Armor going to be less expensive? It's like, no, that's the cheapest you're going to get the Apex Armor at, unless this is more expensive than what it goes on the aftermarket. But, I mean, who knows? I'm excited for this one, because I like me some Power Master Optimus Prime. I have the original toy. I don't have this version, and the commemorative version is the one that I coveted as a child because I had Rodimus Major or Minor.
I think it was Rodimus Major because that was...
No, yeah. Rodimus Minor was animated.
Yes.
I had Rodimus Major, and I never got anyone else. But I saw them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were weird.
Because
I always thought the packaging looked off.
Yeah. They do have weird packaging.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're interested, when they come in stock, it seems like Skids will be $35, Dirge will be $50, Astro Train $60, and Power Master Prime at $140. And this is in part where I was theorizing, oh, they're going to come to Walmart, they're going to be cheaper because Dirge is a retooled Starscream, and Starscream was like, what, $41? $40?
Something to that effect.
Something like that. I was like, okay, so they're probably just the price increase, but nope. So I do hope that when Astro Train shows up next year that it is cheaper. I would like it to be less than $50, especially if it is show accurate, because the G1 Astro Train toy I have is my favorite G1, like original G1 toy. And if there's one in show colors, I might go and snag that if it's reasonable enough. But yeah. Though I'm actually slightly interested in Skids because it's affordable. And who cared about Skids back then? No one, unless you read the one Marvel issue where he had a cowboy girlfriend. Jared, are you interested in any of these?
I do want that Power Master. And... yeah, probably Power Master and Astro Train. Those are the main two that I do kind of want.
Okay. Cool. Moving on to something I know Miguel's gonna want. Legendary Nemesis Prime 7-Eleven Japan exclusive revealed. I forget if we talked about this last week or if that happened like not long after the show. But there was a teaser that there was going to be a 7-Eleven exclusive of the Age of Extinction Optimus mold. There's this legendary.
No, this is legendary. This is so the first time that this rolled, like the silhouette of this rolled around, it was just the silhouette of the Evasion Optimus Prime design with a teal like outline around the silhouette. No real indication what it was going to be. Initially, like when I saw it and Eric saw it, we were both like, "Oh, it's gonna be Nemesis from the Legendary mold." Then rampant speculation that I saw online of like, "Oh, maybe it's like rust colors and a bunch of stuff." And then when it naturally was Nemesis from the Legendary mold, people complained, like everyone does in this fandom.
Yeah.
So it is a premium decoed version of the Legendary Collection Optimus Prime from the Bumblebee. So it's the later upsized Evasion mold from the Bumblebee movie. It's a 7-Eleven Japan exclusive. 8,100 yen after tax. Only available for... It's releasing in September. It's only available for online order to do an in-store pickup. So you can order it online to have it ready to pick up in Japan at a 7-Eleven, which means that getting this is going to be a bit annoying.
I thought you were going to say another word, Miguel. I'm glad you did it.
That could be annoying, because like the last time that they did an exclusive like this, it was 7-Eleven Convoy. And I remember from when 7-Eleven Convoy came out, a lot of people were saying, oh, I'll just wait for like BBTS to get it, for TF Source to get it, something like that. And it's like, these exclusives tend to be a bit more difficult. I feel like for the online retailers domestically in the US and other parts of the world to acquire. Usually, if some people might be like, oh, but they get the Takara exclusives all the time when they're like Takara Tomy Mall exclusives or stuff. It's like, well, yes, but a lot of the times, and especially in recent years, what they've gotten are the Hasbro Asia releases. So it's like, it's released as an exclusive in Japan, and then it's also released in Hasbro Asia's territories, either as a web exclusive that the online retailers are available to get, or they might just actually show up on mass retail. I don't think 7-Eleven Convoy ever saw mass retail in Hasbro Asia for probably obvious reasons.
So you and
I would
Eric...
hope that Nemesis here is able to skirt whatever maybe limitations 7-Eleven Convoy had, and maybe 7-Eleven Convoy's limitations were purely the fact that it was a 7-Eleven branded product. So that way, like BBTS, TF Source, all the different retailers can list this for people who want to pick it up. If not, you'll have to go through... I don't even think middleman services out of Japan would be able to get this for you, because it requires you to go physically in store. So you might have to pair up with people and find some very generous person in Japan who can pick up your order for you.
Yep. So you and Eric could be screwed, Miguel.
No. Because I have been diligent and have found means to acquire this.
Oh.
That I will not talk about much in the event that those means dry up. But I have almost secured one for myself.
Nice.
But of course the means I found are pretty somewhat pricey. Not more than I was willing to go. And not too much more than what the thing actually costs. If people actually want to desperately find this thing and they want to hit me up on Twitter, I'd be glad to point you in the right direction.
So Eric, if you actually listen to this, I think you know what to do.
I mean, at the same time, because this happens a lot. Like these Nemesis, like the Titans Return G2 Prime that they did in Legends, like that was another one that, like, at the beginning it seemed like it was going to be hard to get, and then eventually the Hasbro Asia release was confirmed. So this one might end up in that same boat, and in that case, hey, it'll be easy to get.
Yeah.
If you're like me and you really like your Nemesis, Nemesis, Moosin,
Goosen,
and you're desperate, like, hit me up. I can point you in the right direction of getting them. But like, if you're not that desperate and you can wait. Like, this will probably show up later on, or if not, there are other places to get it. Like, I don't think this is going to be a 7-Eleven Prime type of situation where it becomes like ridiculously prohibitively expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited. I actually like the way it looks a lot, because there was the Tokyo Toy Show release of the Evasion Prime that they released twice. That's basically the same design, and this one looks better. I almost bought the other one for the same amount of money that I'm buying this one for.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So, I'm actually very happy, to the point where I might not even bother getting the other one anymore, because...
Until it's just like the last one you need, and it's like, might as well complete the set.
Get out of my brain.
Yeah, the question is are you really over it, or is it just like, I can put it off for the time being?
I can put it off for the time being.
Okay.
Actually, you reminded me that I have to check to see where a box that has another Nemesis is.
Ooh, okay.
But
glad I was able to remind you.
Are you gonna get this?
Nah.
Is Jerry gonna get this?
Nah. Yeah, nah, I'm not gonna waste my time going to grab it.
More for me and Eric, then.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you. Makes it easier for you two, you real Nemesis lovers.
A whole shelf of them.
Yeah, you got a whole shelf. You should post a photo of that. Your Nemesis
feel
shelf.
like I have. I'll post a picture.
But moving on, for more things for Japan, the Transformers Cyberverse line is apparently finally coming to Japan in July of this year. It's including the Turbo Change. What was it? It's the one-step changers. It includes one-step changers we've had. It includes Ultra Class changers we had. That's the deluxe Windblade, right? The Warrior Windblade, right? Yeah. Warrior Windblade, Ultra Starscream and Grimlock. Then the ultimate class characters we have so far, and as well as they have a couple of grayscales of the Prowl and Starscream power armor suits we saw at Toy Fair last month. Which is interesting that A, it's taken this long for stuff to get out, and that B, that it's all come... okay, this is the first 3 waves that they're talking about here. Okay, I didn't realize that. I thought this was all one huge wave. That would have been great.
Yeah.
But yeah. So all of the... Okay, I get it now. Yeah, that's cool. Japan's going to get that. The next article that we have is the preview, so go check that out if you want. Masterpiece movie 08 and 09 Megatron and Jazz official stop motion videos and images. I haven't actually had a chance to look at the stop motion video, but I've been hearing that at the very least the Megatron looks very good.
It does. I watched the stop motion for Megatron. I did see the one for Jazz a little bit. It starts off with his lower half walking onto the screen and his upper half jumping onto his lower half, which was hilarious in my opinion. But yeah, Megatron, it looks real good. The stop motion for Megatron, it was basically him breaking out of the ice in the first movie, trying to recreate that little scene.
Okay. So when are these scheduled for release again? They're soonish, right?
Yeah, I think I'd have to double check.
Wait, who?
Masterpiece movie Megatron and Jazz.
End of the year.
End of the year? Okay. I thought they were like August. But
nope, end of the year.
But hey, I don't pay attention to Masterpiece stuff, especially Masterpiece movie stuff.
But both of them come out in the fall.
Yeah.
I think Jazz comes out before Megatron.
Which is interesting since he's number 9.
They might trickle out earlier in some places. Like this has happened before, where like they'll come out in Japan. They'll come out in Japan earlier than the U.S. and they'll even come out in like China and stuff before that. Like Bumblebee, I think came out 4 months before everywhere else got it or something. Ties into the fact that in addition to like this stop motion nonsense, someone actually has an in-hand sample.
Oh yeah, that's right. That is a thing.
Masterpiece Megatron. Their TFW 2005, I believe, has the pictures, and I don't know how many other sites have mirrored them. But one person was being very cagey about the fact that he got one in hand, and then eventually said screw it and posted an entire photo shoot and review. Some of the key highlights are they've redone the way he transforms. If you remember the original leader, his feet ended up underneath the wings. They now go in the back of the jet, so that way you don't have feet hanging off your wings. His backpack collapses really tightly against his back to really give him that movie silhouette that he had, like the basically no wing pack silhouette he has.
Yeah.
He's apparently incredibly poseable. Lighter than you would think, given how massive he is. He's, I think, a head and a half taller than Masterpiece Megatron V2. So the Masterpiece V2 mold and the MP10 mold and the MP44 mold are all about a foot tall.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a bit taller than that, like not a bit, a considerable, noticeable amount taller than that. To the point of where, when I saw that height difference, immediately I was like, they can do Dinobots now, because that's how tall that's about how tall the Dinobots would have to be
For Generations, right?
for G1.
Oh, okay. I was confused which Dinobots you were talking about.
I'm talking about G1 Dinobots and Masterpiece. With Generations Dinobots would be.
I meant for Studio Series. I meant for the Studio Series.
Okay, well, no, Studio Series. They just have to be a bunch of later class toys. Like that's.
Yeah. But they're still smaller than they would be. That's why this is where I was confused, because I didn't realize you're talking about G1 Dinobots. Because we were on movie.
If we're talking movie Dinobots and then Masterpiece movie series. Masterpiece movie series.
That'd be a Titan.
They'd be Titan class.
Yeah.
You'd have a Grimlock the size of your Metroplex.
Yes. Well, you can recreate some kaiju movies now, along with Triptychon.
But yeah, pictures are out there.
Yep. They exist.
Who knows what other pictures are going to trickle out? Maybe someone will have. Oh boy, maybe someone will have Omega Supreme. Because I don't know if you put it in here, but they're doing John Warden on Hasbro Pulse is doing a series of sort of like expanded designer deaths videos, but as an interview.
Oh, okay.
For Omega Supreme.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was today. I forgot to put that in there. Yeah.
The first article went up just a bit ago. It's on Hasbro Pulse. So originally Hasbro Pulse was the place where they would put out these sort of like behind the scenes looks, even though they've rebranded it to be their replacement for Hasbro Toy Shop. It seems that they'll continue to do those little interviews and stuff. So they have one half of a 2-part article going into some of the design aspects and some of the things that went into creating Omega Supreme, and some of the things that seem to have just related to the overall design philosophy of the line. Like reporting to John Warden, they're listening to the fans as far as like the increase in hollowed parts over the years, so they're trying to address that with Siege. He mentioned specifically Omega Supreme, but it seems like the entire line has received that treatment. He talks about how just the fact that Omega is 2 feet tall, but he kind of goes off into a tangent of like, people kind of debate if whether or not you have to measure up to the highest part of the toy or just the head. So that might mean that Omega is 2 feet tall from foot to train track on his back. Yeah. And he might be a little shorter at the head height. And the other thing he mentions is that they put a lot, as far as when Hasbro design, like where they were putting a lot of the design elements on paper, and then they sent all of the specs to Takara to pretty much figure out. He equates it to, they aimed for the moon and they got a space station. So they got pretty close to what they wanted. Like to exactly what they want.
That's great.
So there apparently were some bits that read more as like just kind of trying to sell the product, but there were some nuggets in there, and it's a 2-part interview series. So let's see what little tidbits come out from the second part.
Yeah, and I've added this to the show notes. So. Mm-hmm.
So if anyone wants to read the full or if anyone wants to read the write-up from T-Formers and then read the full article, click our link to go to their place and then click the other link.
Yeah.
Tell the internet works. You gotta click links.
So many links. But that's the nature of this.
Links. The next link we have in our show notes. Hero X Transformers Generations Deluxe The Rebirth 35th Anniversary Version. That's a lot of words.
It is. I have a feeling you have a better idea of what this is, so you go ahead. I
do. This is, so for those of you who don't know, Hero X is a Japanese publisher who Takara partners with a lot. They do all of the yearly Generations books that kind of go into the upcoming product and the last year's product and some looks at like the upcoming Masterpiece figures and some behind the scenes of like old lines. Like it's a whole like design like book and catalog series. This book that they're reprinting for the 35th anniversary is the Transformers Generations Deluxe book. This was a book that came out in the early 2000s, in 2001, and then was re-released in 2004. That is, it's basically a toy guide that covers the entirety of Generation 1 from the original car robots, or the Autobot cars and everything from 1984, all the way to Machine Wars. So it includes everything up from like Generation 1, Generation 2, Machine Wars, and all of the Japanese and European exclusives. A lot of people kind of use this as like, this is the best of the best of official guidebooks. Mm-hmm. And it's gotten pretty pricey over the years. And so for the 35th anniversary, Hero X is re-releasing this for the special price of 2,800 yen or $25. Currently, this seems to be out of stock on Amazon Japan. Hopefully this comes back in stock, because this is a book that I feel like if you're into the toy history side of Transformers, yeah, this is really cool to get, because not only do you get stuff that came out, you also get bonus material, so pictures of prototypes, you get illustrations, concept art, sketches, a bunch of stuff. Fortunately, any like interviews and stuff that might be in this book would be Japanese, like in Japanese. So you wouldn't be able to read it unless you know Japanese. Although I'm pretty sure that given the fact that this is a re-release of the 2004 book, a lot of that stuff might be translated at this point. Or, given the fact that this is being re-released, maybe this will give people a shot to translate it for people to consume.
Yeah, I'm quite interested in this. If I can, I'll probably try to get this. It seems.
Oh wow! It sold out.
What?
How did it sell out? Oh no, it sold out like 2 days ago. But yeah, this sold out on Amazon Japan. Hopefully that comes back in stock when it goes up. Because it's supposed to come out this week or next week.
Oh wow! I didn't know that.
Right. This was a like.
I thought this was going to be like a few months.
No, like they're just like, hey, we're reprinting this. Go pick it up because it's about to come out.
Okay. Okay, I did not catch that.
I was mentioning it in pre-show. I'll have my copy next week.
I do not remember you mentioning that in pre-show somehow.
Well,
Jared, can you back that up?
Attention.
Can you back that up, Jared? Did he say that?
I recall him mentioning something similar to that.
Yeah,
I do. Kind of.
You have no evidence, Miguel. You have none, except your own memory. But anywho, on to different news. So, if you recall a little while ago, the Primal Wars trilogy of cartoons, of shows, that was put out by Machinima, were recently pulled from Machinima's YouTube and disappeared off Machinima's website since it seems Machinima closed, right? I think that's the case. Anywho, however, while they are gone from those sites, all three shows, Combiner Wars, Titans Return, and Power of the Primes, are now available for streaming on Rooster Teeth's website, which is very interesting, gotta say. Especially since when they tweeted it out, they said catch up on on seasons 1 to 3 of Combiner Wars. But if you happened to miss out on these shows and when they left, you're like, oh, I didn't get a chance to at least see it. I'd like to be able to at least watch it once. Well, now just go over to Rooster Teeth's site and you can watch it. It still exists for us to laugh at. Or cringe at, whatever your preferred view on that is. Yeah, I'm just glad that it's still at least accessible. Which, yeah. I mean, really that is the tragedy in any art for something to not be accessible at the very least. But like this would have been a great loss. You just would have missed Overlord having a southern accent and sounding like he was the Kentucky Fried Chicken guy. That's all you would have missed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fun bit of news. Aaron Archer, who, if you don't know, was a big toy designer and big partner with Hasbro, who stepped away from the company in 2013. This month on Instagram is doing a sketch piece of artwork for characters that these were all toys he designed, right?
Had a hand in. I don't know how much oh my god, I can't speak anymore. I don't know how much of a hand he had in each of these specific characters. Aaron Archer was one of the lead designers and eventually became I think the lead of boys' toys in general for Hasbro. And so he had a major part in sort of spearheading the Armada line. So he's just kind of doing this retrospective for what is it, the March of Robots? What the thing's called. So he's doing new art, like just new sketches of I guess at this point he's doing each of the main characters who appeared in Armada. So he has Hotshot, Red Alert, Demolisher, Scavenger, Thrust, Smokescreen, Sideways, Perceptor, Cyclonus, Blur, and most recently Starscream.
Yep.
And with each one, he gives a little blurb about like stuff that went into the design, or things he wished could have been done with some of the characters. One of my favorite bits is when he talks about Smokescreen, and he just talks about like, yeah, this is just like sort of the bottom of the barrel in terms of design. Like the color scheme's no good, the head sculpt's no good, the name's bad.
And it's all my fault.
And it's he's basically like, I'm sorry that this exists unless you like him. Demolisher was supposed to be a pirate, which is why his name is Demolisher. It's like Demolisher.
Demolisher.
Or like, yeah. Doesn't really go into much about Red Alert being inspired by RoboCop, which was kind of figured out, I guess, before, but also Power Rangers, which I don't get. Maybe the visor?
But that was, I thought, the biggest RoboCop inspiration, that visor.
And that, well, yeah. And then he complains about the fact that Thrust had no hands in the toy.
Yep.
But that's been well documented over the years that Thrust was like a lot of things went bad with Thrust.
So many things went bad with Thrust.
And then the one thing that was interesting, which I kind of got as soon as he mentioned it, is that one of the inspirations, or at least one the vibe that he kind of gets from Scavenger is a Frankenstein or Frankenstein's monster, if you want to be
accurate,
pedantic.
And yeah, pedantic.
There's a Frankenstein vibe to the Scavenger, which as soon as he wrote that, I was like, oh my gosh, he's right.
It does, yeah.
Like I don't know why I get that, but I'm like, no, yeah, Frankenstein, which makes no sense with Scavenger, because Scavenger was like what, like a ninja, basically, a ninja general who trained Optimus.
Yeah.
Why did Unicron Trilogy Optimus always get trained by construction vehicles?
I don't know, because
Scavenger and Landmine.
Yeah, and Landman too. I don't know. Because construction vehicles make good warriors, I guess? I don't know. Sure. But yeah, this is very interesting. So if you do have an Instagram, you should definitely follow Aaron Archer there. I do quite like his artwork. I do hope there are more mini-cons in the future. Please. That'd be nice. But yeah, I very much appreciate the man and what he's doing. But yeah, that's it for the news. So Jared, what do we have for pretty pre-orders this week?
All right, so for the pretty pre-order of the week, it's Zeta Toys Ori Prime. It's another third-party Optimus Prime, this time by Zeta Toys, and I'm not a big fan of this design. Something about it, I just don't really like all that much.
Yeah, like we needed another third-party Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
It honestly, to me, it feels like it's actually trying to be an update of the toy as opposed to an update of the cartoon model, like how blocky it is and how prominent the wheels are. Feel more so like this is like the G1 toy, but like with proper limbs and posability, more so than other Masterpiece Primes or Prime-alikes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his price is $100. He is, for the Chosen Prime, his estimated release date is April this year. I think that's what it means. It's just 19-April, so either the 18th of April or the 19th of April or April 2019. I believe it's just April 2019, but anyways. Yeah, if you like it, good for you. To each his own, but me personally, I'm just going to stick with my Magic Square.
All right. Yeah, I'm not interested in this for me. Miguel, are you interested in this at all?
Most people would call a Magic Square a Rubik's Cube.
Ha ha ha
ha. I wasn't even paying attention, so that shows how much I care. Oh, wait, this is the pretty pre-order? No, it looks ugly.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have a question of the week because that's normally like Eric's thing, but I don't have the list of questions. So I don't even know if there are questions. So
I posed a question, but we need more people on here.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did pose a question, but do we want to do it or nah?
No, I said it. We should wait for more people to be on here, actually, or a day when there's more people and less news, so we can actually have a rich discussion and debate
Yeah.
that will descend into chaos when it just ends up with Eric and Zeus screaming at each other.
Yes. Yes, because remember, everything is Zeus's fault. Oh, wait, no, that's not it. That's not the title of the episode. It was...
Because Zeus is a menace. He's an actual menace.
Zeus is an actual menace. Yes, that's right. Zeus is an actual menace, which is the inspiration behind this week's mascot, Lightning Rider Bisque, because remember, Zeus is an actual menace. I literally couldn't think of anything better for Bisque this week, so that's what we got for Bisque. But yeah, that's it for us here at Steel City Bots for the night. So, you want to check us out? You can follow Nerd Geek Talk on YouTube if you want to do that and subscribe, like the video and whatever. You can also check out, also the Instagram and Twitter accounts for Steel City Bots specifically. But also you should follow the Twitter account for Nerd Geek Talk because you'll get updated whenever a new podcast posts, which you can find at the YouTube account I already mentioned, as well as the various podcast places such as Stitcher, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and iTunes, and other places that have podcasts. Podcast Idiocy, is it? Miguel?
What?
Podcast Idiocy? Podcast Advocacy?
Podcast Addict?
Addict.
Podcast Idiocy.
What? It could be. That could be the name of a podcast place. You don't know.
That could be a name of our network at this point.
That could be. But yeah, you check it out all those places. Jared, where can people find you?
All right, so you can find me on Twitter at DreadPrime. That's where I'm at basically all the time. So, yeah, I also am on Instagram at JarPro00. That's where I do my night bots, where I take a picture of one of my figures with a backlight in the night, and I make some stupid comment about it. So, if you want to laugh, go ahead and, or if you want to laugh, cringe, laugh out of pity, go ahead and follow me up there. And if you don't want to do any of that, then, ow, my feelings.
Miguel, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Logos Minor, where you'll hear me complaining about my polls in the TCG and the fact that, which is something we didn't talk about, which I'll plug now. Like, if you're still listening and you don't know, TFCon LA, the Generation 1 reunion, is this upcoming weekend at the time of this recording. And they've recently, they're still confirming guests. Most recently, they confirmed that not only will Marty Eisenberg be joined or joining Eric Siebenaler. So Eric Siebenaler was one of the design managers at Hasbro and one of the people who helped design a lot of the stuff for Transformers Animated. I think he was a design manager. I might be wrong. He was a designer for Transformers Animated at the very least. Marty Eisenberg was a writer on Transformers Animated along with Beast Machines. In addition to the two of them, Derek J. Wyatt, the art director for Transformers Animated, will also be attending New York Comic Con. No, TFCon, and the three of them will be doing a Q&A. The two of them, Eric Siebenaler and Derek J. Wyatt, I've been wanting to get their autographs in an art book that I have that they both did art for, and I will not be there, and I don't have a means of at least sending the book out at this point. There's no one in LA that I trust with the book. Sorry, Zeus.
Zeus is actually a menace.
I mean, I don't. He hasn't done anything, at least as far as my art book.
Oh yeah, no, that's fair. But that's because you didn't let him do anything as far as your art book. But yeah, it's crazy how many people they have for the convention. You could just spend all your money getting autographs. Because, like, you're never going to see some of those people at another convention again.
I don't know that many of them will be charging for autographs either.
Really?
They did it at Chicago.
Everyone was charging.
In Chicago?
All of the voice actors. Like,
I didn't know that.
yeah, all the voice actors charged. You didn't get charged for, like, getting an autograph from one of the artists or James Roberts, but they had things to sell that you could get autographed.
Okay.
Yeah. And, like, if I
I
remember...
didn't know then that makes a bit more sense.
Yeah. So, probably, like, Derek J. Wyatt, you don't need to pay for his autograph if you got, like, an autograph book, but you could buy something from him and get that signed. If you want to talk to the voice actors, you probably gotta pay up. But yeah. Anyway, as for me, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at SoundJack426. My YouTube channel features Transformers toy reviews, which we'll actually get back to that soon-ish. My Instagram features photos of my toys, and my Twitter is where I hang out, so come on by and say hi. And that's it for us from this week. So until next time, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye, sayonara, all that good stuff.